Now, here's side 2.
All right, so I'm going to go to the other side of the world here. I'm on the last one already? No, second one. This is the second one. Parannoul. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it's this Korean kid, South Korean. I was it was October. I was actually, end of the year's coming up. I should check out Pitchfork's, what are the best albums? And his third album, not the one that I recommended here, was on the list for this cat out of South Korea is amazing. And his story, his story is really, really interesting. He's anonymous. He has not revealed, or he or she, I guess, don't really know. It sounds like a dude though, but hasn't revealed his name. Lives with their parents. Is a student in their early 20s, and makes all of their music just in their bedroom, and released it all on Bandcamp, and is like one of the founders of the shoegaze scene in South Korea. And I was like, that's really interesting. I've never heard of Korean shoegaze. So I went back and I found what was the earliest album that was available on Spotify, which is To See the Other Part of the Dream. It's just this beautiful blue background with a smokestack and white smoke, and it's like kind of anime. So I just put this album on in the background, and I was kind of blown away by it. But especially when I got to this exactly 10-minute song called White Ceiling, which starts off with kind of Pink Floyd alarms going off, and then it just gets into the rock portion of it, and he's talking about something. It's in Korean. I have no idea what he's saying. I actually looked up the lyrics. But if you would have asked me, what's this guy talking about? It wouldn't have been far off, what I guessed, from what he's actually saying, because it does sound very pensive and sort of angsty and anxiety driven. And from, a guy who's hanging out in his parents' apartment making music in his bedroom with the door closed and not saying who he is in real life. It's sort of on brand.
Do the lyrics come out to something like, "My parents have finally asked me for rent"?
No, from White Ceiling, went to Lyrics Genius, and yesterday's like today, today's like tomorrow, tomorrow's like yesterday. Nothing has changed. Even on Sunday morning, even on Monday morning, even on Friday evening, nothing has changed. So
even my underwear. I live in a basement.
But I found this album all the songs to be incredibly rich and deep and multi-layered, and just all the best parts of shoegaze, where the vocals are at the same level as all the instruments, and it's just sort of a wall that hits you. So I've listened to this album and recommended it to I don't even know how many people at this point, none of whom have come back and said this is amazing. I think most people are this is all in Korean.
Yeah,
you get that right, Joshua? That's weird that you're on about this, but no, I stand by it. But I haven't dove. I haven't gotten outside of this album, and next is I'm going to check out the one that Pitchfork actually recommended as being one of the best albums of the year.
When he performs, does he have one of those Daft Punk helmets?
I don't know that he performs live.
He doesn't perform live.
The robot suit. His parents' basement.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said the story isn't a compelling portion of it. I don't know that I ever would have listened to this if
he wasn't living with his parents' basement.
Or that he's just anonymous, refuses to say who he is, or obtain fame. I have an enormous amount of respect for that.
He's the Banksy of the shoegaze movement.
So
shoegaze Banksy.
I'll remain.
What did you guys think of this,
Greg?
Yeah, I was another shoegaze album. What the fuck?
I've got a type. Why
are there 3 shoegaze albums? It's only 9 albums. It's a third of the albums are shoegaze albums. But, which is it's one thing if it's a pop album, okay.
It says a lot about us, I think.
9 pop albums. But it's 3 shoegazers. Anyway, yeah, I think it's good. I will say I'm a lyrics guy, and lyrics matter to me a lot. and the vocals matter to me a lot. So
God damn it, you better back this up on your next pick then.
it does. It does. It does like disconnect me a little bit from what they're talking about because it's in Korean. So I'm like, this sounds good. Like I would like to know what they're, what he's saying or what they're saying, whoever it is. But yeah, and it's kind of like a mix of shoegaze and prog rock. I feel like there's definitely like
There's
super
some long
proggy
songs,
elements in it. Like there's some stuff that reminded me of Explosions in the Sky. There's some Floyd elements in there, and and like Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Where like stuff happens and it's low, and then this explosion of guitar comes out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, that was unexpected.
You're all throwing out band names there that I love.
Yeah,
so.
none of the little like bursts of different musicality like continue, like they'll subside, it'll change again. So it kind of reminded me of like rolling waves, where you can never expect what's going to come up next. Like sometimes it's just this big cap comes out of nowhere and crashes, and then it's still for a while. I like that about it. And I actually listened to it again right before we did the podcast, and I went outside, and it was a clear, cold night, and all the stars are out, and I was walking around our property and looking up at the stars, and it was my favorite time that I listened to it. It was good atmospheric music for being outside and like looking around at the world around you. So I feel like it's kind of, for a kid who's holed up in the basement, it's kind of an album of the nature and the outside for me. Like it evokes a lot of nature feelings for me. So I thought it was really good. I just wish that I could have heard what he was saying. Like I would have liked to know what he meant and what he was getting at.
Well, make it your beeswax to learn Korean then.
Yeah, all my extra time. I'll just chalk that up the list there. Yeah, I went Spanish first.
All right, what'd you give him? What do you give him there out of 5?
Oh yeah. I give it a 3.5. I give it 3.5 out of 5.
All right, Brian.
Let's just call this album what it is.
A
good album to fall asleep to. This is only a Joshua a South Korean anonymous shoegaze album. Just like well, I tried getting into it, man, and like the first track, and it was like I looked at the phone, I was like, this is still the first track. We're like 10 minutes into this. I was like, so I'll admit I didn't give this one as fair a shake as I probably should have. I just couldn't get into it. I don't really have a ton to say about this one. I just I was trying to get through so much material. If it didn't hook me quite quick, I had a hard time. I kind of would exit out mentally a little bit in the sense where it's like, shit, this isn't really in my wheelhouse. Not to say like I can't get through an album, because I did on some of these, but like I just really couldn't find anything to grab onto with this one, I guess. It just
there's another track on there called Chicken, which is kind of a weird name, but because it's in English, it's not even in Korean translated to English.
Yeah.
It's just Chicken. That one's a little bit more up tempo.
Chicken is my favorite one on there, actually. Yeah. The last two,
for me, it goes between White Ceiling and Chicken.
The last two actually had like a 90s feel. Like it had like I heard some Jesus and Mary Chain, tones in I think Chicken, and then I Can Feel My Heart Touching You had a little bit of a Smashing Pumpkins, early Smashing Pumpkins sound to it too, like some of that stuff mixed in. So I was like, oh yeah, the last two on the album still different and good.
You're definitely right, Josh. You got a type. You got a type of album that you like.
All right, Brian. So what did you give them?
A lot of ambience. Two. Her.
All right. So let's go back to Greg for his final pick.
Yeah.
2023.
The one that everyone loves the most. This is a band called 100 gecs, and nobody knows why the hell they're called 100 gecs. And it's the kind of band where they do interviews and people ask them why they're called 100 gecs, and they keep giving different answers, which it frustrates the hell out of people. And I feel like that's kind of this band's thing. I heard them when I was driving, and they had this Nashville radio station, public radio station that just does commercial-free music, and they play whatever the hell they want to. And I was driving and got to a stoplight and quickly like Shazam this thing, and put it down so I could like see who the hell they were later. And just it was the song Hollywood Baby, which is a fucking jam. I love that song so much. And like I play it for my kids, and my kids are like, "Do you want to party, Malibu, Barbie?" I fucking love that song. I was like, this song is a killer track. And that's why when we were arranging the show, I was like, can we do killer tracks where it's not just the album, like the whole album, but like I just love the hell out of a track. And like Tibetan Pop Stars is one of those that just, I listen to all goddamn year. And this is another one where it just gets in your head. It stays in my head. I'll finally like force it out and listen to other shit. And then just 2 months later, it's like, no, we're back. Malibu Barbie is back.
It's catchy.
I love that album. I love that song.
I got my
and then when I listened to the album, and the first song that I heard from the album, I was like, this is good. Yeah. And then the second one, I was like, also good. And then it's got Hollywood Baby. And then it's just as like, now we're going to get weird as fuck. You're like, wait, what? It just goes bananas, like all over the fucking place. But did this spice up my year? Hell yes. Did it bring like interest and enjoyment to my year? Hell yes. Would I see these guys live? Hell yes. This would be a really fun live show. And Hollywood Baby is my jam of the year. I fucking love that song. That's why I picked them.
All right.
You're not like coming out of left field. This album was on a lot of like year-end lists.
Was it really?
Yeah. I mean, I had heard of them, and when you, but I had only heard of them like sort of disparagingly.
Oh yeah.
And so when you put this on, I was like, oh, I get a chance to hear it finally.
Oh boy.
Man. Brian, do you want to
go? Sure. My very first one, the best part of this album, it's so weird. I mean, it's defined as hyper pop, whatever, and it's almost it sounds like whatever that means.
ADHD,
it kind of makes
Gen
sense.
Z music,
it's like a total. It's crazy. Like, but when I first come to you guys, I'm like, oh man, this is great. It sounds like Andrew WK fucked a Nintendo.
which is a spot on description of them.
And I started off being like, this is fucking insane, and like, my comments, I was like, as I was listening to like my first listen to Potluck, I was like, holy shit, what a shit show. So fun though. And like I kept getting like, and then as I listened to this more and more, I kind of started liking it. I was like, this is gonna get stuck in my head. And so I wholeheartedly appreciate what they're doing on this album, which is it's fucking nonsense, but it's good. It's like this crazy catchy nonsense crap, but what's crazy is that there's so many influences that are happening in this. I picked up different bands left and right. Like, they're moving from like ska to like, I was thinking like Aquabats to like Blink 182 to all this other types of like different genre bending shit they're going through on this album. Like it's kind of crazy in that it's not some sort of masterpiece, but for what it is and like what they're going for, like I wholeheartedly appreciated this. It took me a few listens to get past the like
WTF factor,
the like the microwave crazy pop shit going, Doritos and Fritos and all this. Like, you're like, what the fuck is going on? But like, once you listen to it a few times, you're like, okay, it's crazy and goofy as hell, but it's catchy, it's fun, and like you kind of see what they're going for, and you're like, I like it, I kind of dig it, So I don't know if I'm like dropping this on all the time, but like it's funny, as soon as you start like if you hum one of the songs, like it just gets stuck in your head. This whole album can just like it just jammed in your head. You're like, I can't get this stupid song out of my head. So that to me is I appreciate this. I thought it was. I actually just thought this was a lot of fun. Like it's fucking nutty and crazy, but it's kind of. I also like the Aquabats. So what? It's kind of not that they're all on the same lines, but it's like a fun, playful, kind of wacky.
Yeah. So what do you give it, Brian?
I give it. Man, I can't give it a 4.
You could.
This is a struggle. This is the struggle.
It's like it's got to be 3.75.
3.75. All right.
I got my time. Like even though
do you want to party?
Start singing it. And I was going to bring this up. I was talking to Joshua about this before, but Greg, were you aware that apparently Fox News keeps playing?
No, I didn't know. They have no idea what the hell they wanted.
Like unironically,
yeah. What's the song? America's Most Wanted or something like that?
I'm the most wanted person in America or something.
Yeah. I guess apparently somebody on Fox News loves this band. They keep playing it, which is it's like all those people when Rage Against the Machine like rage against Trump, and all these people were like, I'm no longer a fan, and you're like, what did you think they were talking about the whole fucking time? You're the machine. And we did a Google search, and if you go and Google for this, it's just the funny headlines are just like, Fox News won't stop playing 100 gecs for some reason. Why does Fox News keep playing 100 gecs? An investigation.
An investigation by Fox.
Fox News are weirdly obsessed with the hyperpop band 100 gecs. It's so funny.
Fuck, I love it. I know. I gotta say, man,
it's such a great rabbit hole. Like this whole album is fucking great.
It's interesting.
I wholeheartedly appreciate this coming to my consciousness.
Nice.
No.
Yeah.
Joshua hated this.
No, don't put words in my mouth, because I'm. God, this is a frustrating.
You're like sweating. Joshua's sweating.
I am like.
I just ate some chili peppers.
I have devoted way too much thought to this band over the past week since you recommended it, and I am deeply, deeply torn over this. Like at its best, it's like it reminds me a lot of Sleigh Bells, which is a Florida band, and I fully expected 100 gecs to be from Florida.
I like Sleigh Bells
because they sound because I love Sleigh Bells. But for what they do, I mean, it's poppy and it's heavy, and there's nothing more to it. 100 gecs sounds like the state of Florida if it was a band. So when I found out they were from Chicago, or St. Louis,
and then moved to Chicago,
and
did their thing.
Moved to Chicago. And that their first album is a tree that's in fucking Des Plaines, like right around the corner, and like 100 gecs fans like make pilgrimages out there to take pictures in front of the tree. A part of me, I was just like, God damn it, really? I am really deeply, I don't know, just torn over this album about what is it? What does it represent? Does it represent anything at all? Is it not you're not supposed to think about it? Is there a manifesto for hyperpop? Like, what the fuck do these people stand for? Like, I have no idea, and it really bothers me because I get the feeling like the what they're making is intentionally meant to piss people off or something.
No, it's not.
And any insult that you throw at them about how terrible this is, they like nod and be like, "Yeah, totally. Don't you love it?" And it's just like, and that frustrates me.
They just like fun,
and I don't know why. Because and legitimately, there are some tracks on here that are fun. Like Hollywood Baby, you're absolutely correct. Absolute banger. I've probably listened to it like
that guitar riff at the beginning.
The melodies are super catchy. But I mean, if music is supposed to be like a feast and different dishes, this shit's gonna rot your teeth out if this is all you consume. because it has no nutritional value whatsoever.
But is this all you're going to listen to?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I am not saying that's a bad thing. I am just calling it what I feel like it is. There's nothing wrong with eating like
Doritos and Fritos. Doritos and Fritos. Doritos and Fritos.
No, I think there is something wrong writing a song about Doritos and Fritos, but I'm not saying it's not catchy. I'm just saying it's probably not good for you if this is all you're gonna fucking consume, or if you're gonna build a movement around this shit. So, at the end of the day, I'm left with more questions than answers about what the fuck 100 gecs is. But I got to give it a 4. Like,
what?
I don't get it. I don't know that I'm supposed to get it though.
I thought you were gonna shit all over it.
I did too.
I mean, how can I give it a lower score for something I've put so much fucking thought into over the past couple days? It's just, oh God. And I hate myself for giving it a 4, but I think that's what they're trying to do is just given the opportunity, I would probably see them live too. But I don't know if I'd stay for the whole show.
You never do anyway. He's not saying anything.
I mean, they might suck me in. I might. I might stick around. It might be weird enough to. Frog on the Floor. I feel like that song was written by Gene from Bob's Burgers. Like, it wouldn't shock me if fucking Eugene Merman just popped
Dad.
up.
You don't understand our music, Dad.
But it's not for kids. So who are you writing this for?
I think you said it really well.
Gen Zers.
Or you're like, yeah, this sucks, and they're going, yeah, right. It's terrible.
It's terrible. Don't you love it?
It's like, great. What? It makes no fucking sense. I know. Isn't it great?
I know. Isn't it great?
And that's kind of how I listen to this. It's like, this is fucking crazy. I'm like, but it's really good. Like, it's such a weird mind fuck.
Yeah.
It's catchy as hell. God. Yeah. So my grade for it anyway was 3.5. I gave it 3.5.
God, I gave it the highest score. Fuck you. God damn it.
I know, it's just funny. I think
you sucked me in. You sucked me in.
Yeah, it's got so much catchy shit in there, though. Yeah.
All right, final round.
That's my last.
Final round.
I'm done.
Oh, is it me?
Oh yeah, we're on the final. Okay.
Now I just sit in judgment of the two of you.
Goes to Brian.
All right.
So this is a bit of a layup, I guess. But this I had more of a reading for this one. So my final pick was SZA's SOS, which funny enough, I didn't realize Pitchfork gave this the best album of the year or whatever. But
did it really?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think because like the song like Kill Bill is all over the place, but her in particular, I kind of put there as a placeholder because one, I do think it is a great album. I think it starts off one way and then it's sort of the ends completely different than it starts off. Like, it's a whole range of different styles. But what stuck out about what SZA to me was like, I think like maybe like 2017, I think Control came out. And I remember this album came out and I thought like, I don't know how I stumbled on, but I was like, this album's fucking great. Like, but no one was like talking about it. And Her as an Artist thing was her debut album. And I was like, man, this is so fucking good. Like, and I sort of lost track of that. I mean, then that album gained traction. Not like I was like discovering her or anything. I don't know how I found it, but I was like, just one of those times you listen to the album, you're like, shit, this is really fucking good. Like, why isn't anybody talking about how good this is? Anyways, people did find it and whatever. So this being her follow-up album, and it's much larger and huge, and she's gotten much bigger. But personally, and maybe even this pick, like, I think there's a lot of talented female artists out there that are doing something a little different, maybe for a different audience. I think she does go in being like, okay, I can do the pop song, but then I can also do this rock song, and I can also do this. And so it's a huge different genre kind of bending album, in terms of like, I think she's just super talented, and it's kind of would be my pick for a female hip hop pop artist, in terms of like, to listen to. If if I had to get behind one of them that I think is really good, I think she's incredibly talented. I also started really digging the Doja Cat album too, that came out recently. So I haven't even gotten through all these. I was trying to fly through some of these like things. Like, I know like Boy Genius got a lot of play with Phoebe Bridgers. I couldn't really get into that one, but I want to go back and listen to it. Same thing with like Lana Del Rey. I know has a big following too. So it's like, to me, it was like just so like overwhelmed with the number of like quality, just like female artists in every different genre that are just kind of like just killing it. I was like, I got to go back and listen to all these albums. Not,
Also from St. Louis.
You know who else? You know who else to add to the list is Courtney Barnett. Man, I've seen her play live a couple times. Holy
she's
crap!
great.
Yeah,
she is fucking great.
And there was another one that was really high on a lot of lists too. It was like Catherine. She's like,
Carolina Polachek.
Yeah.
Carolina Polachek. Yeah. She's really good.
So
Samsonite. That was
way off. But I was like, I wanted to get to that one too, and I was like, I gotta.
I've heard of
I gotta put like a great female artist hip hop something album on here because I was
Paramore.
Like, it's like even Paramore put out a new album. But I haven't gotten to that one yet either. So, anyways, I feel like it's been like the year of just.
Female decade or decade and a half of female artists but
I feel like just this past year though, of all the albums people keep talking about, I was just like, damn it, that another one. So I got
female performers have like long since like destroyed men performers especially for like what people want to pay to see and like listen to, like way outstripped.
Well, what another one stuck out to me too was just all the different genres, across all of them, from like hip hop to R&B to
country
pop to there's like country, like it's awesome. I was just like, I literally have a list of 10 albums in front of me that I was like, shit, I gotta check out after this. So, anyways, long-winded answer.
Yeah,
Greg, what you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I have to say, that this is another member of the Wu-Tang Clan that's on the list today, after RZA and Jizza and SZA now. And she does a duet with Old Dirty Bastard, which is a quote.
True.
Dude, I was like, how are you not in the Wu-Tang Clan? Your name is SZA and you have an Old Dirty Bastard duet.
From the dead.
Yeah, from the dead. Man, he died in 2004. I know. I was like, how is this a duet? Dude is dead. And it's funny because I've seen almost every single member of the Wu-Tang Clan, because Pitchfork Music Festival has like sometimes 2 of them at once play individual sets. Like Ghostface Killah, they've had him like 4 times.
They had Jizza do Liquid Swords.
Jizza, all these guys keep coming back, and I love it. So it was funny. I was like, wait, SZA? Wait, is that a Wu-Tang member? Like, was there a SZA? And I was like, oh, this is a completely different person. But that album's great. I think her songwriting is really, really strong. It's that Kill Bill song. I was going on.
Yeah, I think that was played a ton this year.
I was going on a hike and listening to that, and I was just like, pleasant song, and then it's like, I'd kill my boyfriend.
My ex.
I'd kill my ex. Rather than be alone. I'd rather go to jail than be alone. I was like, oh. And then she ends it like, I'd rather go to hell than be alone. I was like, damn. She's like, I just killed my ex and his girlfriend or whatever. I was like, whoa, that is some serious fucking shit there.
Did you see the video for that?
No, I didn't see it. No.
Oh, it's like a play on Kill Bill. Like, it's cool.
Yeah,
I was wondering where the Kill Bill actual connection.
It doesn't always like grab me. Like it meanders sometimes. Like musically, it meanders sometimes. So it isn't as long of an album as it is. It's 25 fucking songs or something.
Yeah, it's like 21 tracks
at least. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, is it 21? I don't know.
I think it's 21.
It was like 25, but it was like, shit, dude.
What's a bit?
This isn't an assignment. But it's like a part-time job listening to this album. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I think her voice is great, and her songwriting is really, really strong. And it's really immediate. It's not like, I like really, like I said earlier about Hop Along, I like when people can say something in a different way and it makes it hit harder. I also really like super immediate, songs where people just talk to somebody and say shit like straight up. That always gets me too. So I like that. That's kind of her style. I would trim it down and have fewer tracks. I mean, even 15 is like, a long album. And I think I would cut this down. Yeah. Like maybe
tell that to the Beatles' White Album.
Yeah. That's 2 albums. And I mean, come on. if we're being honest, not everything on there is gold anyway either, right? Come on.
But wait, hey, Buffalo Bill, that's a great song.
Piggies?
Piggies,
Nothing wrong with Piggies.
No, come on. Yeah, if you put too many tracks on, there's always going to be stuff where you're like, this didn't need to be on here. I feel like this is a function of the digital age, where like in the old days when they had wax, you had to put it. You had an album, it could only be so long, and that's it. You could only put probably 10 or 12 songs on the album, and you had to make hard decisions. And now everyone's like, who fucking cares? We'll take everything we recorded and drop it onto a Spotify, and you can stop it or play it if you want to. So yeah, I would just, it could use an edit for length, and I would cut out some of the songs that meandered a little more. But yeah, it's really, really strong album. I think I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Like
4 out of 5.
That was quite good. Yeah.
All right. I give it like a 3.75, maybe 3.65. She has a really lovely voice. I kind of like liken her, not musically. I don't know. Maybe this makes sense at the end of when I finish saying it. But you guys heard Karunga Bin?
No.
They're okay. Then
it's just another Korean artist.
No. They're actually like an LA band who have a really weird name. But they play, sort of, jazzy and sort of noodling with some sort of Middle Eastern vibes, and it's kind of good background music when you're not really like paying attention. And so I felt like this was sort of like that, where it's really nice to like have on the background while you're doing something. I was listening to it while making dinner. I listened to Kill Bill twice. It's a really solid track. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of like felt like kind of standard R&B to me. But enjoyable. She has a nice voice. But
your kids must have had a hell of a like. Your kids must have been like, "Is Daddy okay?" While you're making dinner. Like,
no, I mean the music
Kill
I
Bill
usually
playing.
listen to.
I'd rather kill my ex and go to hell than be alone. And then the other one's like, motherfucker. Like Daddy's having a rough week. I think
They're usually
just let him cook dinner
about me and my mental health while the music I'm listening to.
And switches from that to Doritos and Fritos. It's like, what's wrong with you?
So I give it a 3.7. I'm going to say 3.75. And I will put it on the rotation again. All of these, I think,
good,
I'm gonna put back on and give it more than a week. You gotta give it more than a week.
Said, nothing that you guys sent me was something I was like, I
wanted to put in. I wish we had thought of doing this earlier. I mean, that's our fault. Joshua has been harping on this for weeks.
It's true.
To put this together, but I wish we had put all the picks earlier into like just a playlist, and I could have shuffled them all and just kept listening to them and just kind of see what popped out in my in the rotation to see what's caught and what I skipped and that kind of stuff. So that'd have been, I might do that after the fact of just take all our picks and put them in a playlist, and then.
Well, funny you say that, because I already put all the picks in our companion playlist,
imagine if someone had done that.
You guys can click at the bottom of the podcast.
Yeah, but that's got like the Henry Limpet cover in there. Like, I want just these picks, like, or the When You Wish or whatever that song is.
Henry Limpet cover.
I don't know.
Did someone cover it? Because I would love to hear that.
I found a cover.
That's on the Spotify.
Ataris did a cover of it.
But
be careful what you wish. The wishes can come true.
On the YouTube playlist, there's actually a clip from the movie.
I forgot about that.
Sorry.
All right, well, I have one more.
Covered Boys of Summer by Don Henley.
All right, let's bring it home, Joshua.
All right, my last pick for album. So I was going through a rough moment when I first heard this album. It hit me at exactly the right moment. So I was traveling overseas for work, and I had just heard some like really, really bad news work-wise, and I was just like in a terrible state of mind. I was like so pissed off. And a buddy of mine from college who lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee, right around the corner from you, Greg, knows like I dig punk and hardcore, and he was like, "You got to hear this band." And I was like, "All right, sign me up." So this band Gumm, Gumm, had just come out with an album called Slogan Machine, and that first track just kicked my ass. I made it like 2 songs in, and I immediately messaged Brian. I was like, Brian, you have to check out this.
Wait, are they from Chattanooga?
They're from
Is this band
Chattanooga.
from
Yeah.
Chattanooga?
So this whole album is like front to back, it's really short. It's only like 23 minutes or something like that. But they do this like style of hardcore that really is reminiscent of like 80s DC, like Discord Records era. But it's semi-political. Like there's just enough songs in there where you're like, oh, this dude's like he's really going off on something. But it's like sort of they've got a few songs in there that like I've looked at the lyrics several times and I'm like, this is actually kind of a positive vibe. Like the things he's singing about, he's like honestly like talking about getting older and like not in like a like wishing to give someone back their youth is one example. Like not in like a I don't know, sarcastic way. Like he's honestly like, you know, sorry you got older. If I could, I'd give you back your youth. Whereas I think a lot of punk would take it in a different direction. And as someone who's getting older, like I kind of appreciated that. But just super energetic. There are songs that just like they have really weird time signatures that you don't fully expect in a lot of punk. And it just hit me at like just the right moment, and I wore this album out for like a solid 3 months in a row. So, Gumm, Slogan Machine, and the song that I put for you guys to listen to is No Frontier, which is the opening track, which just rules. So for me, it's a 5. It's a 5. Perfect 5.
5. Okay.
Who's going? Yeah. So my initial notes on this album were fuck dot yes dot. I like as I love hardcore, so this sort of hit me. I hadn't heard a good hardcore album in a long time. So, but yeah, to Josh's point, like this is I love. Yeah, I remember texting a bunch of friends, especially ones that I grew up with, listened to a lot of punk and stuff with, and I was like, this is the closest thing I've heard to like 80s DC, like Minor Threat, Fugazi, as Josh totally said, like that sort of hardcore, which I love in a while. And I was like, yeah, you got to check this out. Like this. So I have loved this album. This was between this and I think the Czarface one were going to be my top 2 picks. I think I've listened to this album a lot since Joshua sent this to me. So yeah, it's got that like political slant in a way, but it still has some catchy stuff to it, and it's just like he's got a great voice for hardcore, and like it drives. Like
makes my
it's a
voice
solid
hurt just listening to him.
So yeah, I give this I'm giving this a 5.
Damn. All right, Craig.
Yeah.
Bring it on home, man.
I like this album. My only problem is the Cookie Monster voice. The dude's got the Cookie Monster voice, man.
That's exactly what my dad says.
Yeah, totally, man. It's cookies. We want cookies.
Do you like hardcore? Or no.
I like hardcore when you sing, or when you have more like it doesn't have to be like you're singing like in a fucking choir, but like you gotta have some notes that you sing. So like that's my only qualm with this is the Cookie Monster voice. The band is great, and like also I like the lyrics too. Like this is true emo, because emo has turned into a term that means like kids with eyeliner and dyed black hair and like moping about and stuff. But like emo is emotional hardcore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like hardcore with like actual like heart and meaning behind it
and sentiment
instead of just anger. Yeah. And I think the second or third track in, I was like, oh, this is a true emo album, because it was talking about real shit in his life. So yeah, I love the band. I love the songs. I love the lyrics. I just wish the dude was less of a screamer, because it just wears on me, man. It does. The screaming wears on me, and it's not like a thrash band, like I said earlier. I can't take those at all because it's just unrelenting, like screaming and like wank guitar, like fucking the whole time. You're like, come on, guys, give me a fucking break. I've heard so many bands like that too, where it's Just like,
I know what you mean. I used to be able to hang a lot longer with those types of bands, but as I get older, my tolerance.
It's not even
has
an
dropped a
age
little
thing
bit.
with me. Like, I've just never liked that shit. I love really loud bands. I love punk rock. I love, going to shows where people like bash each other and shit.
We're destroying each other.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Get in the pit.
So yeah, this is a 4 out of me just because of the Cookie Monster guy. But I love this record, and I would see them live in a heartbeat.
Well, head on over to Chattanooga. So real quick stats. Brian gave the lowest scores. 33 total. Followed by Greg, 35.5. And then I was the most generous, I guess, with 36.
What album got the highest ranking?
Ooh, hold on. Let me run the sum that way.
100 gecs. 100 gecs.
He gave it a 4. I thought I bet Czar
highest is Czarface, 14.25. Followed by 100. Nope. Followed by Kill Bill, 12.25.
Kill Bill?
No, I'm sorry. Gumm.
You mean
nope.
SZA?
SZA. Yeah, sorry. No, SZA, it goes first is Czarface, second Gumm, third SZA.
Oh.
12.25. 14 for Gumm. So.
What was fourth?
Fourth was 100 gecs.
Okay.
No, Nas. I'm sorry, Nas.
What was the worst?
The worst was
the Southern Korean
Hotline TNT. Nope, Hotline TNT.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, with a 9, which wasn't too far behind. Hop Along was a 10. Parannoul was 10.25.
Wow, no love for
Pale Saints 10.5. We'll put the results up for all our listeners.
Where are we going to put them?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere.
Exactly.
We have a smart sheet that we link out to.
We'll put it up on Instagram.
Kids like use some Airtable.
I'll do a screenshot and put it up on Instagram.
I'm going on Figma. I'm making a Figma.
All right. Well, this is a good last episode of the year. So what we're gonna do is next episode will be first episode of 2024. And we're gonna
rando Calrissian. We'll decide.
Basics. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit the old
finally gonna do a
randomizer here. We have 28 different items that we can have picked from here. So ready? Steady.
God. Dear God, help us.
Number 10, Alice in Chains, Dirt.
Oh, nice.
I have not heard this. I put this on the list.
You haven't heard it.
I have put this on the list because I haven't heard this. And you guys dropped Alice in Chains references quite a bit. So
I love Alice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are two guys that sang along to Possum Kingdom, and what did we karaoke? Dead and Bloated.
Oh,
Dead and Bloated.
Possum Kingdom would have been
as a karaoke tune.
Yeah. Make up your mind.
For a company work event. Everybody else in the room was like, "What the fuck are these two guys doing?"
Do you know any Alice in Chains? Like, are you aware of any songs by them?
I know the album cover with the dog with 3 legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then Dirt is with the lady in the. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Core.
Yeah.
There's Jar of Flies.
Dirt.
Oh,
I had all their albums. Yeah, I bought all the EPs, everything as it came out.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know why I never got into Alice in Chains, but we can talk about it more next week. But
because you like to not cry.
Is that it? I mean, that's not true.
It's depressing.
I guess we'll find out. I mean, you're talking to I am still listening to grunge today a lot. So I am tagged in on Lithium, the channel Lithium on Sirius XM. So I'll be curious to dig into your hate for grunge.
No, I love grunge, but I just never got this. So all right,
kidding.
All right, Happy New Year. Do you want to party, Malibu Barbie? Do you want to kick that shit up when it all comes tumbling down?
I got my tooth removed.
Squatting